Dear, dear, dear. Some unfortunate news going in on this one tonight regarding the passing of Alicia Stone. Alicia Stone, basically, she went to Colombia for a BBL, and unfortunately, that may have been the cause of the problems that occurred and finally resulted in her passing. So, without further ado, and without further delay, let's get straight into it, shall we? According to Atlanta Black Star, NYPD detective and devoted mother of 3, Alicia Stone, 40, has died just 1 week after undergoing a butt lift and liposuction procedure. Stone, a 13-year veteran of the department's Internal Affairs Bureau, was found unresponsive in her hotel room and pronounced dead shortly after. Her husband, Michael Stone, is demanding a full investigation into her sudden death, questioning the circumstances surrounding her post-surgery care. These are all good points I'll be touching on in a moment. Authorities are looking into the cause, which has been listed as an unspecified cardiac arrest. Okay. So here we have a woman that leaves behind 3 children and a husband. Not good. Not good. And there's too many of these cases occurring. One too many. This is in the States, obviously, and there's been quite a few instances now in the UK where, funnily enough, interestingly enough as well, ethnic women are going over to Europe, getting BBLs, but not coming back. Okay, so this is a serious thing, you know. Obviously, you know, in this woman's case, she's gone over there, had surgery, come back. It could be that, you know, her being of ethnic Latin appearance, that could be a factor in terms of her care and how they treat her. But I'm saying here in the UK, there's been several cases of women going over to these Eastern European countries where it's not regulated, and then we find out that they haven't come back. And what's also very interesting, that does need to be looked at, is the fact that when families have bodies subject to autopsies and such things like that, they're now finding out that in many cases the bodies are lacking organs. So something tells me something far more sinister is going on. We're looking at organ harvesting. There was a case of a girl, actually in this case a Caucasian girl in the northern region of England, that went over to get surgery, and when she came back, the husband found out that organs were missing there as well. I think that was Turkey. So again, that has to be looked at, because a lot of these countries are very, 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 very iffy and dodgy. So if a woman's going to entertain that, then boy, things have to be in place. So let me just move on now and go in on this, as I normally do. Basically, you know, let's take Colombia, for example. As I've said, that's a very dangerous country. Okay, I have people who want to go and visit there, you know, to maybe see someone online or something like that. But nah, Colombia itself is a dangerous country. You know, is it something they have called Devil's Breath or Scalapolino or something? I can't pronounce it properly. But a lot of tourists are going out there, meeting the locals, going to bars, having drinks, and then again drinking, collapsing, going to sleep, and not waking up. Colombia itself is dodgy. So in regards to this story, you need to be doubly sure. If someone's going to go over there and have a BBL, whatever, then you need to be doubly sure with regard to their research, especially in Colombia. If they're going to go down, they're going to go there for research. Personally, I wouldn't recommend going there. You want to go to a country where it's regulated. You know, you want to go somewhere where you know where it's official. Like I know a girl had a BBL done. I know hers was quite good, but in her case, again, she'd done the research proper. I think one of her friends went before her. Not that that means anything, because like I said, they're very, iffy. It may be that the friend went before, but they're thinking, hold on, maybe we can't mess with this girl here because such and such. Maybe they ask certain questions and get an idea of the person, so that maybe they estimate that they can't touch this girl. But doesn't mean that this other girl this other girl they can maybe get away with it. Okay, so that needs to be looked at. But ultimately, you need to go to proper countries where it's been carried out. There's a certification because a lot of these BBL people, they're cowboys. Even the ones that work here and give girls treatment here for a big cut price. But these are cowboys, and they haven't even got the qualifications. I think they use like filler or something, and then suddenly the girls on the operating table, they do some kind of nonsense. And then next thing you know, they've bounced. So if the girl wakes up, if she wakes up, then she's cut open, and boy, that's not good. And the person's bounced. That's in the case of the cowboys. But when it's official, like say you go somewhere like Germany, a proper, and it's all official, all above board, a proper private hospital, and you're paying that money, it's different. Okay, so again, if it's that important to you, go and do your research, and there should be no cost when it comes to your health, because if she went to Colombia because it's cheaper and it's nearby and so forth and so forth, that's no, no. When it comes to your health and your body, and you're doing that, then there should be no cost expired, because that's more to do with the quality. That's quality control. That's more to do with quality as opposed to cost. Because what you don't want to do is have a low cost BBL in Colombia and risk your life, or come back maimed, or come back scarred, or chopped up, and you're ruined, as opposed to paying that much more and going, like I said, somewhere like France or Germany to an established hospital and getting it done there. So again, if you have to look at officialdom, certification, where it's getting done and these kind of things, and obviously if it's regulated. And I mention that because I remember I've got an American friend actually. We talk often, and she's saying to me, she's put on her Facebook page first. I've got a female friend. She's talking actually in code. Didn't mention the girl's name, but she goes, she's got a female friend. She's silly. She wants to go to France all by herself. Was it France? Turkey? One of those. No, it's Turkey. Sorry, one of those. I thought not France. One of those other countries. I think it was Turkey. I think it was Turkey actually. So she wants to go to Turkey, a country she's never been to, has no idea of the culture. Wants to go over there, have a BBL, and then come back. The argument was she was saying a friend wants to go by herself, which is very risky. If you're getting these things done, you have to go with someone with you in case it goes wrong, so they can cover you. That's standard. Like the girl I know who had it done, she went with her friend. But with the Colombian girls you see there, she went solo. So, boom, there you go. This girl now, my friend's friend, she went to go solo. I think the friend dropped out, so she went to go solo as opposed to not go at all. And it was a big thing. It was a big thing on my friend's Facebook page. And funnily enough, the girl actually got involved in the conversation, and she's defending it. So I was putting forward my arguments as well as everybody else. I was breaking it down to her logically, talking sense, making it practically be. It was totally sensical that you should not do it, but she still wanted to go. And that's another thing: the power of vanity. Some people are so hard-headed. They're so hard-headed that they're not listening to reason. They have this image in their head of how they're going to look and how they're going to be. And that defies all forms of logic and common sense. That's what they're pursuing with. So, you know, boy, it is what it is. When it comes to your body, it has to be levels of trust, and if someone's an American, I mean, it's different. If I was to go to France or the Netherlands or Spain, I'm English and there's all the English people there and it's more of a commonality there. You're going all the way from America to Turkey of all places now. In fact, they'll probably look at that and they probably will target you. No, a melanated woman, American, Turkey by herself. Nah, you're a sitting duck. I hate to say it. You're a sitting duck. So, yeah, it is what it is. Basically, I think personally, get in the gym. Because more time than not, if a woman's got hips anyway and a bit of bottom, all you need to do is lose the waist. And I'll tell you something a lot of personal trainers won't tell you. A tip from your, a tip from me, a tip from your tapped uncle, Uncle Bashman. Do fasting, not intermittent fasting. You can do that as well. Actually, do intermittent fasting, but don't eat for 3-4 days. Do that and thank me later. All right then. But back to this BBL thing. Obviously, it's a sad loss. Um, Condolences to the family, to the husband, to the 3 children that have lost their mum. She was obviously a police officer. I'll say this: if she was in the front line, that's a risk. And I think some things come with the job. Like if I say it was me. If I was a police officer in the line of fire and I was to be maimed, then it'd be more accepting, I think, for people, as opposed to sadly losing your life in this way. So before I leave, let me touch on a few comments from what I've seen online. Okay, with regards to the husband, he knew why she was going there and what for. Any surgery has risks. Don't know why people can't accept what God gave them. That's a good point. Good to keep things natural, and sometimes some things just aren't worth the risk. Some surgery, yeah, any surgery does have risks, but it's about minimizing those risks. Like I said, you want to go to an established uh, doctor or surgeon, and who has the qualifications, certificates, and has to be in a proper, you don't want to be going to Colombia or something like that. You need to be going somewhere where it's, a proper hospital or something like that. Over 30 shouldn't go out the country for surgery. Another comment. Over 30 shouldn't go out the country for surgery, especially if you don't have any medical conditions. Don't exercise. Yeah, yeah. Age is a factor as well. I think when I read up on this before, I think age was a big factor. And if she didn't have any medical conditions, then maybe that's what influenced the cardiac arrest with regards to the surgery. Personally, I think in this case, maybe she was she wanted it that much. She was desperate for the surgery, and some people could be so desperate that they don't look at things they should be doing, like the due diligence, the research. Is this doctor qualified? How many years? What qualifications? The hospital itself. Is it a proper hospital or is it a shabin where people just go in and things like that? It has to be proper due diligence when you're taking these kind of risks, especially with your health. Here's the question. Here's a good one. Sorry. Here's one. So many questions. Did she travel solo for cosmetic surgery? It seems she did. So again, that's what I was saying. For these kind of things, you go with someone, so someone's there to look out for you. As I said earlier, it happened to Kanye's mother and many others. Exactly. So again, you know, it's a risk, but it's about minimizing risks in many cases. And there's a few other comments. People are too caught up in vanity. Love the life and body that God gave you. If you gain weight, adjust your habits, eat less, exercise more, discipline yourself. But going under the knife just to have a bigger butt or to look better is not worth it. Just because now she's gone, and for what? Exactly. Like I said, too many people want the quick fix. We have people here now in the UK taking all these weight loss injections, and some people are actually dying or getting bad side effects. You know, simple. Hit the gym, fast, and thank me later. Simple as that. All right then. Again, condolences to the family, condolences to their children and extended family, and yeah, another sad case. And I'm sure she wouldn't be the last. All right then. Take care now. All right. Later.